Hi, today we have with us Dr. Amruthasree, who's going to tell us about what health systems management in Canada is and what are the job opportunities after doing it. After completing her BDS from SDM College of Dental Sciences, she worked as a general dentist in India. Then she moved on to Canada, where she pursued her health management systems graduation from Fanshawe College. After completing that, she's doing her second program in healthcare administration currently. She's a certified HIM professional working in the health records department at Victoria Hospital, London, Ontario. I'm Dr. Satish Kumar. This is Kaizen Dental. Our aim here is to help dentists succeed. Dr. Amrutheshree, so our first question to you today is why did you even think of shifting to Canada and not continue in India?
Thank you, Dr. Satish. So, before I move on to answering the questions, I would like to thank you for this wonderful opportunity. Before I actually moved move to Canada or made the decision to move, I used to watch your YouTube videos, and then that was very informative and very helpful as well. So, to answer your question, why I decided to move to Canada. Even during my BDS years, I've always wanted to, practice outside India. We used to follow the Instagram profiles of various doctors who are practicing outside, and then we would look at their techniques and the materials that you used to work with. And then I've always wanted to practice outside India, and that was the biggest motivation for me to move outside and then pursue a career in Canada.
So now you told me you used to watch a lot of Instagram pages of dentists, okay? Then why not go through the NDB and what made you jump into non-clinical?
Yes, I thought you would ask me that question because so to um, actually practice in Canada, there is a lot of licensing examination and procedures that you have to go through. So the thing is that the biggest hurdles that an international student or anybody who wishes to practice outside India face is that one, obviously money, and the second thing is time, right? So the process of NDB in Canada is that you have to clear five examinations. Or you can also take the first exam and then do 2 or 3 years of college, and then give the licensing exam like every dentist here does. So the money, that the cost that is associated with the whole process is like overwhelming. And for a middle class family, a student or a person who's coming from a middle class family, yes, that is very overwhelming. So that was one reason that I didn't want to pursue dentistry directly. And I tried to come into Canada through a shortcut, and then later I'm planning to do my licensing examination. And the second thing is that time, because if you want to move to Canada and then become a dentist, it's going to cost you about 3 or 4 years of your professional life. So if somebody doesn't want to, or somebody doesn't have that um,
Time frame
opportunity to,
basically.
yeah, yeah, and not everybody is fortunate to just only study and not work, or people will have different responsibilities, so
Understood.
financially, maybe personally. So if you don't have that kind of time with you, that is another thing. So
Got it.
those
So
two are the main
basically,
things.
time and money was the reason you got into the non-clinical field. So my point
Yes.
is why health information management and what is health information management about? What are you taught in that course?
Okay, so I got into health information management by chance, but I'm starting to love it. And so, to give you an idea of what health information management basically is, I can just give an idea. Like, it is basically the collection, use, analysis, disclosure, and release of a person's health information or personal health information. That is basically what the health information management is, like the name suggests. So you would know that, you would have heard that especially in countries outside India, the healthcare system is very different, and they are trying to move vastly towards the electronic health information compared to paper-based system of managing patients' health record, right? So, if somebody is planning to completely convert a patient's paper documents into electronics, then obviously you would need a team of people who are professional, who have expertise, and who have that technical capabilities to handle that sensitive information, right? So that is basically what health information management is.
Okay.
Basically.
So you decided to do this course. Now, how did you apply? What was the process? And how did you decide which universities and everything? Before you listen to answer to that question, I would like to tell you one fact. 75% of the people who view our channels and our video do not subscribe. Remember, the more subscribers we have, the easier it is for us to come up with amazing content for you guys so that you can take your career to the next level. So, what are you waiting for? Subscribe right now.
Um, so I, so my experience was that from back home, I used to contact a lot of educational consulting agencies, and then they would give me information regarding the different courses that's available for a person who is graduated from dental school from India, and with that eligibility, what all courses you can apply for. There is healthcare administration, which is very common that people apply for, and there is health systems management, health informatics, and different courses like that. So from that, I decided to pursue a 1 year course. That's why health system management appealed to me more than healthcare administration, which was a 2 year program at that time. And the college fan show, why I picked was that because the weather in London is supposed to be a little bit lighter compared to, the heavy winters in Canada, and also the opportunities. And I didn't want to move to a big city like Toronto. I'm a person who doesn't like that much rush and traffic and everything that you see
Got
in
it.
a city like Bangalore or Mumbai. So I didn't want to deal with that. So that's why London is a little bit quieter, but you'll also get the same opportunities, or that you would get if you move to any other city like that. So that's why
The
I
one
choose a
great point you
college.
told is weather. Sorry to cut you there, but a lot of people don't take into consideration weather, and that's something you took into consideration. That's a very good point.
Yes, of course. When you're moving to Canada or UK, I guess the elephant in the room is weather, right? So you have to think about that before you make a big decision like that in your life. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So now, what was the entire process cost you? So now, and what all were the steps? Like, how did you apply? How many days did it take for the process to come through? So, how was the process of application, and how much did it cost you? The entire course, the 1 year course.
Okay. So since I didn't do it personally, I didn't have to deal with all the tensions of the technicalities. So that's one thing that I would tell students, if they don't have that kind of time with them, if they're working, if they're studying, or if they have any other responsibilities, so you can delegate that task to somebody who's experienced in that. So that's what I did. So I gave all my information, my educational credentials, my certificates, and everything to an agency, and they picked few courses for me, and then they gave me the information, and then I chose one course from that. So that's, let's say, I chose the health systems management, and then I had to pay a fees of about 100 Canadian dollars to apply for different institutions. But Fanshawe itself doesn't cost you anything, I mean, charge you anything to apply. There are some other institutions where you have to pay certain fees for your application, but then Fanshawe didn't do that. So fortunately, I didn't have to pay to apply for Fanshawe. Of course, I did apply to different other colleges as well, but let's just focus on Fanshawe itself. And then for my application process to get accepted, I think it took for about 1 to 2 months.
Okay.
Um, so once Fanshawe accepted my application and they gave me a conditional offer letter, I had to uh, pay my fees within a certain amount of within a certain period of time. Um, so that I did from my bank account to the Fancho account. The agency doesn't have any role in that, so you do it by yourself. And once they give you the unconditional offer letter, they accept your fees and then they give you the offer letter. You can start applying for your actual visa, student visa. So you need a whole lot of documentation to apply for your visa. So again, for the visa application, I consulted the same agency as well. So they did all my processing, but you have to deal with all the documentation. So you have to process, I mean, give it to them for processing. So that took me about, I would say, 2 to 3 months to get ready all the documentations. And then once I submitted my visa, my visa was firstly rejected because I didn't
Oh,
have enough financial documentations. So it got rejected the first time, and then I gathered all the documentations again. I proofread it, and then I went through it. I rewrote my SOP. So statement of purpose is one main thing for your visa application in Canada, that they actually read it, I guess, because from my experience, I can tell that. Because the first statement of purpose that I wrote, actually, the agency helped me with it. So I didn't have much of a contribution to that, I can say that. But then when the visa got rejected, I actually really had to think about it, and then write from my own, personal life. And then actually, I actually wrote it myself. So there is no, elaborated or posh words or quotes from any person. It's just my raw life experience and what I wanted to say, that I wrote. So that was one thing. Sometimes your visa get rejected because solely because of the statement of purpose is not written well, and it seems artificial, that the person who's reading it can actually see through it. So that took me again about, I would say 3 months for my visa to get approved again. So overall, the entire process of from applying to a college to getting my visa approved, I think it took me about 8 months. So maybe it's also because my visa got rejected and then I had to reapply again. So I would say 8 to 10 months.
okay.
So one should always keep that in mind, that things can go wrong at any point in time, and you have to have a backup plan, or you have to have a plan B. Or what if this doesn't go the way you think it's going to go? What are you going to do then? So things like this, I think, major life decisions, I think you always need to have a plan B. That's what the whole process had taught me. But then, yeah, to answer your question, actually, it took me about 8 to 10 months for the whole process,
Understood.
and
So what was the
from
fees for
applying to
1 year?
getting my visa approved. Yes.
How much was the fees for 1 year of yours?
The 1 year For 1 year, I paid close to 16 or 17 thousand dollars. That will be about 10 to 11 lakhs
Okay,
in rupees.
understood. So entire process cost you around, including the travel, the stay, and the paying for the application process. I think it might cost you around 17, 18 lakhs or around 20 lakhs. How much was it?
Yes, about 18 lakhs. Yes, that's right.
Okay, understood.
Because to add on to something, so from the in the expense front, you also need to show a proof of fund that you will be able to sustain in Canada once you are here, because international students do have to show a proof of GIC is what they call it here. So it's an account basically that you put money in, and once the student is in Canada, they will send you portions every month, so it can sustain your expenses, living expenses, for about 8 to 10 months is what. So they basically, the government doesn't want you to be a liability on any of the people living here, or they don't want you to starve basically. So you have to put money into an account in the Canadian bank, and the bank will give you certain portions every month. So that will
Got it.
last you about 8 to 10 months. So that
Understood.
costed me about 6 to 7 lakh rupees, Indian rupees. So that is another major expense that a student will have to bear if they're planning to, come to Canada per se.
So
I'm
basically
not sure
around
about.
23, 24 lakhs, 25 lakhs you should have in your account with the entire
I
process.
would say, yes, I would say close to 20 to 22.
Okay, understood. So if you have 20, 22 lakhs, only then take the risk. Otherwise, there is no use later cribbing that you do not have the finances and you've already started the entire process. Absolutely makes sense. Now you have done this course for a year or something. What are the job opportunities there, and what type of jobs do you get once you finish this course?
Yes. So I also wanted to say a little bit about networking regarding, since it's a question about job opportunities, because in Canada it's not the same as back home, right? So the networking and connecting with people and actually having that contacts will really help you a long way in your career. So for me, personally, I graduated from health systems management in 2023 April, and I had done an internship. It's not actually an internship. I had done a project kind of a thing with one of the hospitals here. And then after that, I had built good relations with my supervisors. And then once I finished my project, there was an opportunity for a summer student job. And then I applied for it and then I got it. So once I started working as a student, I dedicated myself to it. I used to work very hard, and I was also very interested in the work that I was doing, because it was very much related to what I had studied in my, health systems management, because it was in the same department. So so once I finished my the 4 months of summer student job, I I was offered an opportunity to work as a health records clerk. So that's I just wanted to mention that, because when you're talking about
Absolutely.
career, it is very important to, build connections, network, and actually have that relationship with your employer, so that referencing and networking is very important to build a career for yourselves here in Canada. And I think it goes with most foreign countries, which is unlike, I mean, which is not the same as back home.
Yeah.
So yes, that's one thing. And then the talking about the opportunities that we can have after the health information management program. So from Fanshawe, there are certain colleges who are affiliated or associated with Canadian Health Information Management Association, like Fanshawe, which I completed my course from. So once you are graduated from one of those institutions, you have the opportunity to write the SHIM examination, that is Certified in Health Information Management, National Certification Examination. So once you graduate, I mean, once you clear that examination, you can work as a health information technician entry level jobs that would include health information analyst, health information coder, release of information specialist, and data analyst, and things like that. So those are the entry level positions that are available in the health information management field for a graduate from the affiliated institution who have passed the examination.
Okay, so there are
Yes.
decent amount opportunities once you graduate. It's not like that you study this and again you are forced to study something else. So job opportunities are there, but you need to network. You need to build a reputation that you can be trusted with work, basically. So that is an important point which a lot of students tend to miss out on. They think I'll just go and study, have fun, and automatically I'll get a job. That is not how it works.
Yes,
So
exactly. And then yes,
yeah,
uh, it's really important to have fun as well, because you are away from family, you're away from friends, you don't have social life. It's everything is new, the culture is new, the food is new, the people are new. So it's very important to have fun as well, because because that's a way to sustain yourself, right? But at the same time, you also have to be serious about why you came here, why you actually came here, why you're here for, what's your goal. You need to have a clear vision, and you need to work really hard for that as well. Yes.
yes. So did you face any difficulties during the process? One, you had a problem with the visa. Other than that, did you have face any difficulties during the process or during your studies or after finishing your graduation? How was it?
Yes, talking about difficulties, I don't think anyone might have ever said no, everything was very smooth for me. So, like every other international student, I did face a lot of difficulties. So, before actually moving to India, yes, the visa rejection was one thing that I didn't anticipate, and then I had to navigate that. But then after coming here, the main thing, like I mentioned before, is that the social isolation, right? You are away from your family, you are away from your loved ones, you're away from your friends, and everything is new here. The culture is different. So a person can watch a lot of YouTube videos and have a theoretical knowledge of what it's going to be. Like people might see the same video and then think that, oh yeah, there can be social isolation. Yeah, you can know that, but then experiencing that, coming here and actually feeling those emotions is a bit different from what you hear, and then theoretically understanding everything. So yes, so the first few months, I think I came here on the fall, so September 2022. So that was nearing to winter, and winter is actually a very depressing month for a lot of people because of the
Yes.
cold and the snow. The snow is very beautiful for the first week, I guess. The first snowfall is very exciting for everyone. But then after that, I think it dies down, and then you tend to get lonely and all these emotions comes out. So
Yes.
the social isolation was definitely a big thing for me when I moved here for the first few months at least. And then yes, for that, to overcome that, you definitely have to, go out of your comfort zone and then make connections and have genuine, you know friendships that can sustain you. So that was one thing. And another thing was, I was another main thing was time. I was actually working three different jobs at one point, and I was also a full-time student. I was also volunteering with one of the organizations called Canadian Mental Health Association. So I had a lot going on on my plate. So I didn't literally have any time for myself. So I was a bit drained out by the end of the first year. So that was also one thing, that a lot of students who come here do multiple jobs. So the time that they can spend for themselves is a little bit less compared to, back home, where you only do one thing. You either work, then you work. If you're studying, then you're just studying, right? So there is no culture of doing multiple things at one point in time. And maybe it's also because of, adulting. Growing up, you have to do different things at one time. You can't be just like, oh, I'm only going to study. So maybe that too. But that was one thing that drained me a lot. And I actually had to, stop and then take a break. No, this is costing my mental health as well. It's an irony because I was working for a cause of mental health, and my own mental health was at stake. So I was like, no, I have to stop and then, rethink my decisions and then take some things off my plate. And yeah,
Understood.
so those were the two main things.
So you've given a lot of advice. Okay, now for example, the visa process, focusing about time. You just didn't tell us about the process. There was a lot of advice you sprinkled across the entire interview. But still, is there some other advice you would like to give someone who's thinking, oh, she's done it. I would like to take this route.
So the only thing that I think I would say is that, the decision like this, this is a big thing. Um, Uprooting yourself from your native country and then moving across, and then moving to a
Continents.
different country, and then yes, continents. I thank you for the word. Moving across continents and then settling yourself in a completely alien place is a big decision. I think a lot of people don't really realize the impact that it's going to have. So I would say that, if you want to do it, great. I am for it because I've done it and I've never regretted any part of it. Yes, I've had difficulties, but I have never regretted that decision one bit. But then, if you want to do it, make sure that it is you who are deciding to do it. You're not doing because somebody else is doing it. You're not doing it because your family or your friends wants you to do it. You're not because you watch a random video and then you think somebody else has done it and then you want to do it too. No, you have to have a clear vision or clear why. Like Simon Sinek says, you have to have a why for yourself, right? So that is the one thing that is going to motivate you through the entire struggles or whatever hardships is going to happen. That is the one thing that's going to motivate you to go on. I say this because I have had a few friends in my own college who has come here, who has made this big decision and come here, and they are not able to cope with the culture or the environment or the weather, whatever it may be. And they had actually, one of my friends recently moved back. So after completing the studies of 1 year, they moved back. This is not like not to demotivate anyone who is planning to move here, but just the reality that there is a lot of hardship, and the decision to move here should be yours, and you need to have a clear purpose to do it.
Basically, it should not be on FOMO, fear of missing out, or it should not be based on peer pressure. You should think about it and then take a call. That's a really amazing advice because a lot of people nowadays just see what others are doing and think I should also get into it. Thank you for that advice. So, though you're given a lot of advice in this interview, if someone wants to connect with you because you are telling it and laying down the facts as it is, uh, how can they contact you? Can they contact you through Instagram? Would you be comfortable with that?
Yeah, I'm actually active on Instagram. That's one social media that I usually use, and doom scrolling, like they say. I do that too. So yeah, people can contact me if
So
anybody has
great.
any questions. Yeah.
So what we will do is we'll put this post in Instagram as a collaboration. So guys, if you want to go and contact her, you can check out her Instagram page, which will be there on our page, and you can contact her through that. It was lovely having you on our show, and the best thing was you laid the facts because a lot of people just look at the process. They do not understand the background story. You have given them a taste of that. So thank you for being very realistic out here.
Of course, it was my pleasure. Thank you so much for the wonderful conversation. I really enjoyed it. Thank you, Dr.
Thank you.
Satish. Yeah.
If you like this video and want to know the other options of going to Canada after BDS, then check out our Canada After BDS playlist.